Imagine stumbling into Julia Child's vacation home in the south of France and being so inspired that you just have to buy the place. Well, that's exactly what my next guest did, and she turned that legendary kitchen into a recipe-free cooking school. Now, Mackenna Held is bringing that intuitive culinary freedom stateside with her new cookbook, Mostly French, Recipes from a Kitchen in Provence. Mackenna stopped by to share some of her scrumptious, simple dishes straight from the south of France. Okay, we have to start with the Julia Child of it all. How did you end up buying her house in Provence?
Well, great question. It was on the market, and I saw an article in the New York Times, and I thought to myself, that just seems like something I should do.
Oh my God, I wish I could just see it, you know, for sale and be like, oh, I'm just going to go and buy Julia Child's house. No big deal. Casually. Well, your approach to cooking is pretty unique. So tell us about the courageous cooking method.
Absolutely. So the courageous cooking method is a recipe-free way to explain how cooking comes together, how dishes become delicious, how food cultures kind of become what they are, and also your personal palate. So when you look at our method, it's like everybody kind of falls into the method in their own way based off of their personal preferences.
I love that. That's so unique. Okay, congratulations on your cookbook.
Thank you.
Your first one. This is so exciting. So it's part memoir, part kitchen adventure.
Absolutely.
How much of your life in Provence is in this book?
Oh my gosh, basically everything from the time I bought the house to present. It's kind of like how I have come to cook the way I cook now, which is very different than when I started living in France.
Yeah.
I've been there almost 10 years, so I have now like time there. And it's been really interesting, and it really has kind of the way in which cooking has evolved for me from start to the finish.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you are going to teach us how to make something that sounds very fancy, a galette.
I know.
But it's actually really simple.
It's really
so easy,
simple.
and I love making these. So what are we going to do first?
So first, I'm going to have you roll out our dough. I pre-made it for you.
Okay.
The only two ingredients in this dough are butter and flour and a little bit of water. Let's get you some flour so it doesn't stick. And all you have to do is roll it into whatever shape you want. We are not looking for circular. We're not looking for square. We're looking for flat.
Okay.
Flat
I think
and
that's
nebulous.
what's so great about a galette, right? It's like the more rustic it looks, the better, actually.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
How do we achieve that perfect, flaky, flavorful crust?
Butter.
I think that's really
so much butter. So there's so many different ways to make crust. So the crust in my book is very simple. It's called a sablé, which is where you take butter and flour and like rain it into kind of this sandy texture, which then comes together into a disc like you were rolling out now. And then you take that and you make it flat and you make it work. And the butter kind of lives between the flour, and as the butter melts, the flour separates and you get that really nice flake.
So good. Now, is there a specific butter that we should be using? Not like brand-wise, but just like a fattier butter, a less fattier.
So
you know,
most butter is very similar. The difference is the flavor. So it's hard to get the flavor of French butter in the United States.
Oh yeah.
Frequently people are like, it must be their special cows. We don't have special cows in France. But what we do have is all of our butter is lightly fermented. So you get a little bit of sour, not sour like yogurt sour, just like a barely noticeable sour note, which brings depth to the butter. So I love any sort of European butter tends to have a closer flavor profile to that.
Okay, perfect. And I love that a galette is so versatile, right? Like I usually only make sweet ones, but I'm seeing savory ones here.
Yes.
Are there any like foolproof ingredients for beginners?
Oh my gosh, I always think that galettes are basically foolproof no matter what. If you start with a good saucy base, it can be a tomato sauce like this one, it can be the sauce is kind of the tomatoes on this one, or a like mascarpone mix. All of that works really, really well. You just need some sort of base before you put your ingredients on. To me, without some sort of saucy base, the ingredients in a galette kind of just fall flat. So I like want some sort of not too liquidy, saucy base, and you can kind of do anything you'd like. And then you want to find complementary and contrasting ingredients to kind of fill it with it. Okay,
I'm thinking this might be a little bit too thick, but in the interest of time, let's move on.
I think it's perfect.
Okay.
So we are going to sweeten our avocado with just a little bit of sugar. You can do this to taste. And I'm going to let you stir that up and then spoon it on.
Oh, this is going to be so yummy. Okay. And then also, what are some common mistakes that you think home cooks make?
I think the biggest mistake home cooks make is spending too much time with a rubber spatula in their hand. And like actually like babysitting the food. I think one of the misnomers about home cooks is like this notion of medium-high heat. I write that in my cookbook too. That's become normal parlance in recipe development, right? But what ends up happening with that is that we really want a saute temperature, which means hands-off temperature. So it can be left alone until it is cooked.
Okay, perfect. All right, I've spread my ricotta cheese.
So just sweetened ricotta. We are using salted butter in the crust. You can go ahead ahead and help me. It'll get a little messy. We're just gonna make this pretty, mix up the colors a little bit. I've got grapefruit and orange today. You can use any type of citrus. Lemon makes it a little bit more sour, obviously, but you can always sweeten with a little extra sugar.
Amazing.
Nobody hates that.
Nobody hates that. Nobody said no to sugar. All right,
now we're gonna
perfect.
fold over the edges.
All right, this is the best part. We just kind of make it kind of fun.
Yes.
And you just fold. You can make them as big, as little as you want.
Yeah.
Well, that cheese kind of snuck out of there,
That's okay.
but that's
the cheese
fine.
can sneak out. Perfect.
And then we just pop it in the oven.
We pop it in the oven. I'm going to put a little sugar on top of it because
Why not?
that will make it like a nice little caramelized crispiness going on.
All right.
And that's that. And you end up with something like this.
And before